Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Kids these days do not know the struggle. Like, it was so hard to find like a decent cut of anime. God forbid that you were looking for like an older anime, like 3x3 Eyes. Like, you weren't gonna find that on Funimation. Like, Crunchyroll wasn't gonna have that. Like, you had to go to like a Blockbuster or like something. You had to go to like a video rental store and hope that they had it, and it was always in like the hentai section. Oh dear. Hello, my Oh, yeah, this is the correct one. Why is it so loud, though? And now it's too quiet. Ah, good morning, good evening, and perhaps good night. I forgot to turn on VBridger. I'm a silly bean. Hello, my darling dearest undead. Welcome, my readers. My name is Grimoire Index, and today we're going to be reading, as said above on the screen, SCP 3673. I've been told this is about a building, and I'm very fond of buildings. How are you today? Can you tell I'm tired? The holidays have been chaos for me. Let me connect all of my precious softwares. Please, can I connect all my precious softwares? Oh my gosh. How are we today, my readers? And of course, welcome in. I will wait a few moments to start. I know you all are just filtering in from the, dredges of the internet. I broke a nail today. It's not very fun. Today is very discombobulated for me. I love that word, discombobulated. Just like the word decapitated, I like that word too, decapitate. Alrighty. We'll wait a few more moments. And while I live edit my screen, so this way I am actively live editing. I wanted to add this earlier, but it has been a while since I've had a good break. It has been a while since I've had a good break. I'm very much a workaholic. I work very, very hard when it comes to the library, paradoxica. So I had a nap, which is rare for me. I know. Bad Grim. Bad Grim. But I had a really nice nap. It was so refreshing. I felt as if I was floating on a little cloud of books. And then I played some and then I kind of lost myself playing Lads for a little bit. That was fun. And now I'm here. Let me add one more thing to the scene, and we can get started. You all won't actually see this because I'm in studio mode, like a smart cookie. So, and because you all can't see this, I get to do little extra fun stuff. Oh. Why did it? Well, why did you do that? Okay. Wonderful. Well, that certainly updated things. Okay. Thank you for following, by the way. I saw that earlier. Alrighty. I think time enough has passed that we can begin. Would you all like to start? I'm actually also reading it on my phone. This way I have a better sight line of it instead of my other monitor. So I'm not doing this. I'm instead doing this, which I think looks prettier. I'll let you all be the judge. SCP-3673. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The building containing SCP-3673 is to be sealed and guarded with the cover story of a failed restoration project. Hello. Welcome in, E-Boy's bathwater. I hope that's tasty. Anyway. The door to SCP-3673 remains closed and barricaded. I'm not repeating myself. All footage recorded by the camera in SCP-3673 will be retained for analysis. A second camera is to be installed to film through the windows into SCP-3673. Security personnel are advised to ignore any noises audible from SCP-3673. Further experimentation is pending Level 4 approval. I also forgot to do something else. I am such a silly duck today. Oh, you want head rubs? I got you. This is a perfect segue into me absolutely forgetting to set up something. Okay. There we go. Description: SCP-3673 is Studio C of the Arts Building located in Lower Manhattan. The room is located on the 5th floor and was used as a ballet studio. It contains a mirrored wall with a ballet barre, roof-level windows on the north side, and a single door. There are no other exits. On or about July 7th, 2016, SCP-3673 became the locus of a spatial anomaly. Ooh, thank you for the hydrate. I'll take it in just a second. Since this time, when the door to SCP-3673, I am a vampire. Since this time, when the door to SCP-3673 is closed, all persons inside appear to be affected by spatial distortions and related phenomena. These phenomena cannot be observed from the outside of SCP-3673. When the door to SCP-3673 is closed, no communication is possible with the persons inside the studio. The room appears empty when viewed through the exterior windows. No persons who have been subject to the anomaly have ever been recovered. The only information about the anomalous conditions within 3673 is from CCC
TV camera from the CCTV camera located in the upper northwest corner of the room. The camera records in black and white video, but not sound. From this camera, the majority of the studio may be observed, including when the door is closed. Looks like I can re-secure the data. Hold on, give me just a second. Ooh. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me move this over here. Looks like there's a video transcript here. Give me... I also can't see what's going on with my chats. Why is it not scrolling anymore? Chat, do you not love me? Oh. Bloops. Actually, I just got them in, but we're gonna have to wait because I am reading. The gremlins are at it again. Yeah. All right. Looks like there is a video transcript here. So I'll go ahead and click on this for you guys so you can see it. And I'll read it to you. Addendum 1. Video transcript. Note, the transcript is of the CCTV recording from SCP-3673 on the afternoon of July 7th, 2016, the first recorded occurrence of the anomaly. 15 girls aged 7 to 9, dressed in leotards and slippers, are participating in a ballet lesson. The lesson is conducted by a woman identified as Chloe Chantier, a 45-year-old teacher at... I have to find my little redacted noise. Here we are. College of Arts. An assistant sits in a chair, operating a tape player. She has been identified as Emily Parker, a 18-year-old student at the college. The lesson ends. The girls huddled in groups, talking and laughing. Santerre opens the studio door. Parents come in and collect their daughters. 10 minutes after the lesson ends, 4 children remain in the studio. They have been identified as Rebecca Jones, Amy Chang, Kayla Okonjo, and Elizabeth Telford. Chang and Telford are lying down, looking at Telford's smartphone. Okonjo is practicing her arabesque in front of the mirror. Jones is readying herself, seating faced a corner of the room. Santerre finished speaking to the parents in the doorway. She walks back into the studio, and the door closes behind her. Okonjo begins to rehearse her pirouette. As she turns, her grounded foot sinks slightly into the wooden floor of the studio. On her final turn, her image in the mirror stops moving. Other reflections continue motion as normal. When Okonjo spins to face the mirror, her reflection resumes synchronization, and her toe is again grounded on the studio floor. Parker speaks to Chang and Telford, who laugh in response and resume watching Telford's phone. Parker moves back to place her chair against the studio wall. Santerre is making notes in a notebook on the far side of the room. Okonjo is looking at one end of a mirror wall nearest the studio door. She walks towards that edge of the mirror. As she reaches forward, it becomes apparent that the last panel of mirror is recessed. Okonjo leans into the recess, looking behind the other mirrors. She walks into this passage, disappearing from view. The scene outside the studio windows briefly changes to resemble a heavy snowstorm, then reverts to normal. Only Parker notices. She walks towards the wall with windows, craning her neck up to see through them. Jones remains reading, but drifts slowly along the floorboards towards the wall. She does not react. Santerre begins walking across the studio towards the door. Despite her walking speed, she does not make appreciable progress across the room. She increases her pace uh, with, without obvious effect. Okonjo walks out from behind the mirrors and calls to Chang and Teleford. Chang and Teleford walk towards the recessed mirror as Okonjo again disappears into the darkened passage. Chang puts her arms around Telford's shoulders as she walks. Her elbow remains in a fixed position in space, and her lower and upper arms lengthen accordingly as she crosses the room. The lengthened arm does not appear to have an eternal skeleton structure, falling to the floor in loops. Neither girl notices. Santerre runs across the studio with limited progress. She is visibly concerned. She looks around the room, but it doesn't appear that she sees any other person. Santerre trips and falls, causing minor abrasions to her lower arms. The floor of the studio has become irregular and rough where she is lying. Santerre stands up and continues towards the door. Jones, still reading, has tilted a 30-degree incline against a wall. Parker slowly backs away from the windows to change her viewing angle. There's a small ship in the wooden floor behind her. As she steps backwards, the gap in the floor widens and deepens. Its base cannot be seen. When Chang is approximately 2 meters from the mirror, her extended arm snaps rapidly into place. She does not react. When Chang and Teleford reach the mirror, the area previously recessed is now flat, and with the remainder of the mirror, Chang and Teleford press on the glass. Their reflections press back. The floor in Santerre's path is becoming increasingly irregular, with sharp protrusions up to 1 meter in height. Santerre continues clambering forward. Teleford steps away from the mirror and begins sinking into the studio floor. Teleford screams, and Chang grabs at her shoulders. Teleford sinks rapidly to her waist. Parker turns at the sound of screams and sees the chasm that has opened up behind her. She shouts, but keeps her balance. Panicked, Parker attempts to make a call from her cell phone, but is not successful. Chang managed to pull Teleford free of the studio floor. They sit for a moment, breathing heavily. Chang points in the direction of the far wall. Teleford calls out in that direction, then both girls run towards and through the wall. Santerre reaches the studio door, but is unable to open it. She hits the door with her fists. Shadows are visible in the mirror. Parker walks towards the back wall with windows and reacts in surprise. She begins to step upwards, apparently climbing a staircase which is invisible to the camera. Santerre turns from the door and sees Jones, who remains reading, situated halfway up the wall. Santerre calls out to Jones, who does not respond. Oof. Teleford and Chang reemerge from the far wall, each smiling and holding a stalk of wheat or barley. They are accompanied and speaking with Okonjo. Okonjo's teeth and sclera are several shades darker than before. Her knees are now bent backwards, changing her gait. These alterations are not shown in Okonjo's reflection. Santerre leaves the door, attempting to walk towards Jones, who has drifted towards the ceiling. Santerre regularly changes direction, stops in confusion, and backtracks as if walking through a maze. Her progress is limited. Not mage, maze. Parker reaches the top of the invisible staircase and is adjacent to the windows through which the afternoon sky can be seen. She slides one window open. Behind it is darkness. Parker leans her head out the window. Teleford, Chang, and Okonjo walk into the area in the center of the studio. They observe a shimmering sphere, approximately 30 centimeters in radius, centered 1 meter above the floor. Teleford removes her ballet slipper and cautiously pushes it into the sphere. The slipper's shape is heavily distorted, and Teleford drops it in shock. It returns to its previous shape as it falls from the space. Parker leans further through the window, and then crawls along an unseen surface beyond the window. She continues crawling until out of sight. The window slides behind her. Joan, still reading, drifts back to her original position. Chang and Teleford experiment with the spatial anomaly. Their ballet slippers and hair clips change shape and dimensions inside before returning to normal when removed. Chang's hand accidentally slips into the space, and its fingers become grossly distended. She shrieks and pulls her hand out, at which point it returns to normal size and shape. Chang and Teleford laugh. Okonjo ceases to react to the other girls and becomes slowly more and more transparent. Santier has returned to the studio door. Okonjo steps out from the passageway in front of the recessed mirror, looking confused. She sees Santier. The Okonjo in the center of the studio has now faded away completely. The window in the top corner of the studio begins to slide open. Chang and Teleford are still playing with the distortive space, pushing their arms and feet into it, attempting to make shapes with their hands. Jones has returned to her original position in the corner of the room. Okonjo and Saunter call and run towards each other. Parker's head emerges from the sliding window into the studio. She sighs and looks to her left. Okonjo runs through Saunter. Both turn in confusion. The sliding door slams shut. Parker is decapitated. Teleford pokes her head into the spatial anomaly and collapses. Parker's head falls through the floor of the studio. Teleford convulses on the ground. Chang stares in shock. Okonjo takes 2 steps back towards Saunter and then suddenly falls upward, flying through the studio ceiling. Saunter screams. Parker's head drops through the studio ceiling above Chang and lands heavily on the floor at her feet. Chang panics, running towards the mirror and through it. The floor near Saunter vibrates as if hit from below by a heavy object. Saunter jumps, startled. Blood begins to seep upwards through the floor. Saunter looks around wildly, then grabs the handle to the studio door. Chang is briefly visible within the mirror. She stands motionless, facing the room. A reflective liquid seeps from her open mouth and eyes. The door to the studio opens inwards, the opposite direction to its hinge design. Saunter peers beyond it, and then is abruptly pulled through by an unseen force. The studio door swings shut. Chang's body in the mirror fades from view. Jones is alone in the studio. She continues to read, oblivious. The door closes. The camera's view becomes completely black for 3 seconds. When visuals return, Jones remains reading. Let me move this for you guys. A body, dressed in Saunter's clothing, is lying on the studio floor, 5 meters behind her. The front of the head has been subjected to repeat blunt force trauma. The head of a large sledgehammer is resting in the remnants of the face. Jones turns the page of her book. The mirrored wall recedes to an estimated distance of 500 meters. The barre remains suspended in place and begins to writhe slowly. Behind Jones, the arms of the corpse move, grasping the handle of the sledgehammer and lifting it out of the face. The body stands upright as if pulled. Viscous droplets of liquid spill from the hole in the front of its head. The corpse approaches Jones, raising the sledgehammer. The girl continues reading. CCTV signal cut. The Foundation has determined that at the time of loss of the signal from the camera, the father of Rebecca Jones had opened the door to SCP-3673 and entered the studio. Finding the studio empty, Mr. Jones left to look elsewhere for his daughter. The door to SCP-3673 did not close until Mr. Jones exited, at which point the CCTV signal resumed, showing an empty studio. Welcome in! Did I miss someone? Welcome in! Hello again. What is going on with my Twitch chat today? You don't like scrolling anymore, huh? uh, you know, I actually have an account on Replay. But I've never used it before. Anyway, the gremlins are at it again. Okay, now... Are you guys enjoying our little, I guess, our little foray into, architectural design? A little dance studio? Also, as a heads up, there's an ad getting ready to start in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Absolutely, a weird one, right? Yeah, it is pretty weird. I need to adjust these. Something that's going on with my overlay. Gonna pull that over. Well, actually, here's what we can do. There. And then we'll slide that down just a touch. Okay. Huh, I wonder what happened to my scroll wheel. My Twitch chat is acting really weird. There we go. Okay. Now I have my scroll. I blame Crowford. Yeah, it is always Crowford's fault somehow. Like, I don't understand what is wrong with that thing. I don't even think he's a demonic crow anymore. Also, thank you for the hydrate redeem. I'm getting to that right now. Today I'm having some delicious tea with lemon. It's watered down because I didn't like how sugary it was. I know. Sometimes I get to have my blood, but today I wanted to have a brief respite. Blood is so fatty sometimes, so I have to be very careful. Especially the type of blood that I like to drink. Old Poet is so good. Once you have it, once you have a taste of that old, soulless, romantic poet, you don't want to drink anything else. Look, listen, not even new generation goth, romantic goth poet, even, not even that is any type of delicious. Anyway, are you enjoying the story so far? I think I am. What? Whew. This story has been crazy. Like, crazy good, in fact. I feel really bad for the girls that were trapped in there. Or rather, that are trapped in there forever. It's kind of a bleak way to go. Forever trapped in a spatial anomaly. It actually kind of reminds me of, have any of you seen the Cube movies? Does anyone remember Cube or Hypercube? It used to come on so much on Sci-Fi. Yeah, it reminds me of Cube. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, oh. Cube used to scare the crap out of me. There was like one scene that I like remember where like they were like, we're gonna die anyway, so we might as well get one lay-in, and they're like, oh well, one room, the room is like nothing is happening in the room. They're like, well, I mean, we're gonna die, so let's just get one lay-in. And so they start doing it or whatever, and the room like rapidly ages them until they're both like little mummified husks. It was I was horrified. that was genuinely just like, oh. I think that was in Hypercube. I I like vaguely remember. I have not seen that one. Hypercube was good. Um just like all of like the weird like laser traps and stuff. Oh, just horror. Mm. And I feel like there was like nothing they could do. They were just like trapped forever. Mm. So while we're just kind of relaxing and getting ourselves ready, how was your week? It is literally Sunday. Um, the end or start of the week for me. It's the start of my work week. I have to go into work tomorrow. I have so much to do. There's a donathon that I'm planning for February 1st through March, or however long it needs to take. Ooh, excuse me. It's not very ladylike. There are a couple of things that I want to make normal, I guess. Kind of normalize me putting out, like creating for you guys. So like I want to be able to give you guys my schedule so you know exactly what is going to happen, so I don't like have to spring things on you. Which I love surprises and whatnot, but there are a couple of like goals that I want to make sure I hit too. I also think for possibly for whatever Wednesday that we maybe we can, I don't know, do some artwork. Would you like that for whatever Wednesday? It is whatever Wednesday. It is whatever I want. Welcome back, everyone. I was just discussing on whether or not possibly for whatever Wednesday, we could do some artwork. There's there's a piece or two that I need to get started on for the Donothon, and they are safe for work, so I should be able to stream them. And I'd like to get better with my composition and just kind of my ideation in general, but I digress. Shall we return to the SCP? Looks like there's a couple more addendums here, so let's be thorough, shall we? Addendum 2, D-Class Testing. Exploration and testing of the anomaly using drones was unsuccessful, as transmission of signals to or from SCP-3673 was not possible when the door was closed. D-Class testing was approved on February 2nd, 2018. D-Class 4739 was instructed to enter SCP-3673, wait until the door was closed, then walk around the edge of the studio, keeping one hand on the wall, eventually returning to the door. D4739 enters SCP-3673 and turns left, placing his left hand on the wall. The observation team closes the studio door. D4739 walks slowly along the edge of the studio, continuing to touch the wall with his left hand. The reflection in the mirrored wall shows an empty room. As D4739 reaches the corner of the room, he turns 90 degrees left instead of right. However, instead of facing the wall to his left, D4739 finishes by facing the correct direction and to proceed along the next wall. Slow motion analysis of the camera footage cannot determine whether this was caused by the studio rotating around D4739's position or by D4739's body turning through itself. D4739's left hand remains in contact with the wall at all times. Halfway along the second wall, D4739 falls through a section of the floor which is visibly normal but immaterial. D4739's torso lands on solid floor next to this area, and he holds himself in place, with his legs extending to the floor. Simultaneously, a pair of legs resembling those to D4739 come down through the ceiling in the center of the studio. D4739 sees legs extending from the ceiling and laughs. D4739 moves his torso, and the legs move in concert, swinging and kicking. After approximately 1 minute, D4739 pulls himself out of the intangible floor. The legs in the ceiling do not retract and remain visible, swaying and kicking intermittently. D4739 appears concerned, turns, and attempts to retrace his route to the studio door. Despite walking forward, D4739 moves backwards, traveling his original direction around the room. D4739 stops walking as he reaches the next corner of the room, beneath the studio windows. D4739 attempts to jump upwards to reach the windows. With each jump, the height of the studio wall increases until the windows are approximately 20 meters above the studio floor. The position of the camera, the ceiling, including the legs, and the height of the other walls of the studio remain unchanged. D4739 proceeds quickly along the wall beneath the windows. 2/3 of the way along this wall, D4739 turns and runs towards the middle of the studio. After approximately 3 meters, D4739 disappears. The final frame of CCTV footage prior to D4739's disappearance shows his body distended in two distinct directions. Review of the preceding frames suggests that immediately prior, D4739's hair and loose items of clothing were pulled towards these same locations. The observations team leading hypothesis is that this may have been caused by the gravitational effects of two separate points of exceptionally high density within SCP-3673. This model is unable to account for the fact that neither light nor structure of the studio were affected by such gravitational forces. The legs protruding from the ceiling of SCP-3673 remain in place, moving occasionally until the door to the studio is next opened. It looks like there's another exploration log, and I'm sure you want to see it. Let's have a little sip first. A manned exploration of SCP-3673 was authorized on October 12, 2018. 3 members from MFT Zeta 9, or Mole Rats, were selected for the mission. Task Force members were briefed on the likely conditions of SCP-3673 and informed the location of the CCTV camera. The initial mission parameters were to proceed to the center of the room, remain stationary for 3 minutes, then return to the door and exit. Agents were equipped with standard exploration equipment, including torches, ropes, navigational tools, rations for approximately 2 weeks. MTF agents enter SCP-3673, and the studio door is closed. Agent Alpha indicates the CCTV camera that GPS trackers are operating normally. Agent Beta erects a 4-cell ring. I don't know what that is. Give me a second. A human figurine hung from a telescopic pole ahead of the lead agent, used to detect areas of dimensional instability in the MTF's path. Okay, got it. The agents proceeded slowly towards the center of the studio. Agent Gamma at the rear marks their path using fluorescent spray paint. No anomalous conditions are detected. The mirror wall reflects images normally. Upon reaching the center of the room, Agent Alpha signals to the CCTV camera. The MTF waits. After 3 minutes, the agents confer, then begin walking back across the studio. Agent Gamma marks the return path next to the paint marks from the team's entry. During this journey, the agents become subject to a time or distance dilation. They take more than 6 minutes to travel a distance approximately 15 meters based on SCP-3673's internal measurements. Agent Alpha indicates awareness of the situation and that the studio door remains visible. Approximately 2 meters from the door, Agent Beta strikes a barrier, which cannot be seen on camera. The 4-cell rig is not impeded by this barrier. Agent Beta reaches out to touch the barrier, suggesting it cannot be seen from within SCP-3673. The 4-cell rig is retrieved from beyond the barrier without incident. Agents test the barrier, which does not block their equipment, but is impermeable to their bodies. After some discussion, the agents spread out to the left and right, continuing to test the barrier. It appears to be a flat surface blocking the entire width of SCP-3673. Agent Alpha indicates to the camera a change of mission parameters, pointing to the studio walls on the opposite side. The MTF regroups and walks across the studio. After another 5 minutes of walking, Agent Beta is blocked by a second unseen barrier, located approximately 4 meters from the opposite wall of the studio. Testing suggests that this barrier is also intangible to non-living materials, but impassable by humans. The agents return towards the door. At a point approximately 6 meters away from the studio door, the agents again strike the first invisible barrier. Agent Gamma attempts to mark the barrier with paint, but the spray paint sprays through the wall without impediment. Agent Beta disassembles the 4-cell rig and pushes the telescopic rod towards the door, but is now too far to reach. Agent Alpha stands stationary with hands pressed on the barrier. Both hands are slowly, but are perceptibly being pushed backwards. Agent Alpha calls out to some other agents, and all 3 agents press against the barrier without visible change to its motion. Agent Beta discharges their firearm at the barrier without any result and is reprimanded by Agent Alpha. Agent Alpha points to the mirrored wall of the studio and distributes cutting tools from Agent Gamma's backpack. Agent Gamma moves to the mirrored wall, and Agents Alpha and Beta attempt to cut through the floor in the center of the studio. Their progress is slow. Agent Alpha breaks off work to check on the gap between the barriers, which are now less than 3 meters apart. Agent Alpha turns to the camera and indicates a request for assistance. The observation team seeks permission to intervene. Agent Gamma calls Agent Alpha over to the mirrored wall. Agent Gamma has cut a hole so deep as their forearm, but the entire depth of the hole is glass, with no change in composition. After discussion, both agents return to the center of the studio. Researcher Jansen obtains permission to open the door to SCP-3673. Researcher Jansen stands in the doorway, but does not enter SCP-3673. On camera, Researcher Jansen is visible in the open doorway. Agents Gamma and Alpha can see Researcher Jansen and begin shouting and banging on the barrier. Researcher Jansen reports that SCP-3673 is empty. This observation is corroborated by the other researchers present. The barriers are less than 2 meters apart. Agent Beta successfully cuts a hole in the studio floor. While Agents Beta and Gamma enlarge the hole, Agent Alpha secures a rope and drops one end through. The room below SCP-3673, a musical rehearsal space, can be seen through the hole. The barriers are approximately 1.5 meters apart. Agent Beta attempts to reach through the hole in the floor, but is prevented by another invisible barrier. Neither the cutting tools nor the rope are affected. Agent Beta exhibits distress and draws their firearm. Agent Alpha knocks it away, and it falls through the barriers. When the barriers are approximately 1 meter apart, Agent Beta places their hands on both barriers and pushes outwards to no effect. Agents Gamma and Alpha attempt to climb upwards towards the ceiling. They successfully affix a rope to a ceiling panel and begin cutting. When the barriers are approximately 75 centimeters apart, Agent Gamma holds their position near the ceiling, bracing their backs and leg on the barrier. There is limited room to wield cutting tools, slowing process. Agent Alpha stands below, speaking and passing further items up. Several pieces of equipment are now outside the barriers and have become irretrievable. Agent Beta paces back and forth on one end of the gap, occasionally banging on the mirrored wall. When the barriers are approximately 50 centimeters apart, Agent Gamma falls, grabbing the rope and pulling it loose from the ceiling. Agent Alpha helps them upright. After some discussion, the agents reach a decision. Agent Alpha draws their firearm and shoots Gamma in the head, then discharges the weapon into their own head. Both agents slump, but are briefly held upright by the barriers. When the barriers are approximately 25 centimeters apart, Agent Beta's movements are severely restricted. They attempt to move towards the center of the room, screaming continuously. The barriers press into Agent Beta's forehead, chest, thighs, back, and the back of Agent Beta's head. The barriers continue to move inwards. Agent Beta's head suffers what appears to be a severe depressed skull fracture in the ocular and is that perennial? Yeah, perennial bones. Agent Beta loses consciousness. Cerebrospinal fluid leaks from Agent Beta's ears. The barriers continues to move inwards. Further fractures occur to a number of Agent Beta's ribs and pelvic bone. Similar injuries occur to the bodies of Agent Alpha and Gamma. Several fractured bones pierce the skin, causing substantial bleeding into the space between the barriers. Agent skulls suffer further fractures. As the barriers move closer, the agent's clothing begins to fall loose outside the barriers as their bodies held within. Various elements of the agent's bodies are subject to compression and torsional forces, causing tearing and bursting of the epidermis and exposure of internal organs. Significant loss of blood and other fluids occurs, but muscle and other tissue are held suspended by the pressure of the barriers. When the barriers are less than 5 centimeters apart, most of the tissue has been damaged by compression into unrecognizability. Small pieces of intact bone and cartilage can be identified within the suspended pulp, including one of Agent Beta's ears. The continuing inward pressure of the barriers spreads. The agents remain upwards and outwards. Fluids on the studio floor likewise forced upwards to form a dark, translucent paste. At an estimated separation of less than 0.1 centimeters, the barriers cease movement. A thin wall of organic matter remains visible on the CCTV footage for several weeks until permission is granted to close the door to SCP-3673. Subsequently, the camera view shows an empty, intact studio. Whoa, that was crazy. Welcome in. Oh, that is so good. Update. January 7th, 2019. Security personnel guarding the entrance to SCP-3773 reported hearing knocking and thumping sounds coming from the other side of the studio door. The noises ceased after approximately 20 minutes. The CCTV footage showed nothing visible inside of SCP-3673. Containment procedures updated. Update. February 11th, 2019. A routine survey of the building alerted the research team to a change in conditions inside SCP-3673. Large letters have been sprayed on the floor of the studio, using fluorescent orange paint. The letters faced the windows and read, "Don't TR," with the last letter misshapen if rushed. The letters were accompanied by 6 handprints used by the same fluorescent paint. The prints were clearly defined, regularly spaced, and appeared to be from the left hands of distinct individuals. 3 of the handprints were child-sized. None of these markings were visible on the CCTV camera feed, which showed SCP-3673 empty. Deliberations are ongoing whether to reopen the studio door. I don't think they should. That seems like a bad idea. So, did you like this story? I thought it was very chilling. Seeing the I like that the I guess commander was like the commander was like, all right, we're gonna die, so we gotta go out our own way. We're not going out like this. So that's a funky dance studio. Why does it always happen in New York? Why is it in New York? Giant monster attack? It's fine, New York. Spatial anomaly dance studio, New York City. Oh yeah, it goes to, this New York. It's just fine. It's just New York somewhere. Imminent disaster event? New York City, it's okay. Footloose, but every time they do the kick move, their leg gets even more distended into like a different direction. Slowly they get pulled apart by spatial anomalies. Isn't that romantic? Or am I thinking of, I always, New York City is the hollow bastion of the US. I don't know. I feel like that's like DC. I feel like Hollow Bastion is DC. We're just we're we're not Hollow Bastion, we're like Traverse Town. Wait, then what is Florida? What is Florida, like the underworld? Florida is Hades' domain. Interdimensional Coliseum. As you get further out of Orlando, it becomes Hades. Interdimensional horrors are just a big fan of Broadway. I look, listen, when I go to see the Phantom of the Opera, you know who I expect to be in the crowd with me? The Rake. He is such a big fan. That's who I expect to see in the crowd with me. Oh man. Wait, why is this here? Got another SCP for you in mod chat. Okay, give me just a second while I set something up. because I want everyone to know, while I am on this particular screen, I figured that, you all should get to know, who subscribes and all that other twitchy good stuff. So give me a second. Yeah. They were most recent subscriber. In the largest font possible. Okay, and then we can put you over here with the other one. Hello. And then, there we go. And I think I will have it scroll as well, but later. We'll have it scroll later. So, give me a second. And I'll go look at that other one. Is this also a building as well? I assume this is a building. This is a building. What is this? Why is there a child drawing here? I'm scared. It goes in a building? Why is there a child's drawing? What is this? Alright. I guess you will have to deal with me gazing off to the right today as I read this to you. SCP 683. Item SCP-683. Object Class Euclid. Oh, ads are getting ready to start in 5 minutes, so I better not. I better not start reading this. But yeah, throughout these next couple of streams, I am going to be adjusting like a little bit of the structure of the streams. I'm trying to be more structured for the new year. So this way I can make my secret goal that I'm not going to tell you about live. But so this way that goal can be made. I'll also be doing a little bit more ASMR. I know how much you guys like that. There'll be more scares and, excuse me, spooky times. So if you will bear with me. I think there should be one coming out on the 8th, and I also have a highlight video coming out relatively soonish. I have an editor on that. Yippee! Yeah. I wanted to have you all vote on which one of the next ones you got. Now, I've already recorded the collab one that I have been teasing, and I will probably be sending the audio off tonight if they're listening. I'll probably be giving that to you tonight. But the other one is probably my next video. But after that, I don't know. I was thinking I'd do something a little saucy for the main channel, you know, spicy. I did say I do have a little bit of spice in me. Mm. So I was thinking, I've seen a couple of scripts and I was weighing my options, weighing them. And I found one that I thought was tolerable, that I liked enough to perform. It'll be a little bit out my wheelhouse, somewhat, and I hope you'll like it. That's pretty much my entire waffling here, is I hope you'll like it. I'm a little shy about it. I'm a little shy about it. A little self-conscious, if you will. Scold you! Why do you want me to do that? You have been working far too hard. You need to rest. And if you don't rest, well, don't have to worry about that. Mm. But yeah, your Grim is working really hard. She's trying to get. I have been asking my manager so that we can maybe I've and applying myself to a couple of places so we can possibly get some candles and some bath stuff for you guys. Random lizard. Get some bath stuff for you guys so we can do, I don't know, get some nice cozy stuff for you all. I think it would be good to have a candle that smelled like the library in your homes or in your bathtubs. Well, hello, Mr. Random Lizard. Either way, I'm working on it. There's a lot of dark plans going on. Plans within plans. Speaking of working, my dang work called me at 4:30 to come in, saying something and saying it's important. And after come in, I'm like, what's going on? And they say, never mind, someone else did it. What? Nah, they would have had to pay me for the drive. They would have to pay me for the drive. No. Just look at them in their face. Hold on, let me get close to the camera. Look at them in their face like this. Just look at them. And be like, pay me for the drive here. Thank you. 4:30 a.m.? And then but they made you work until 9 p.m.? What? Huh? 9 p.m.? That's insane. What? Is that even legal? Are you in like cybersecurity or something? Because that's like cybersecurity hours. Or that's like doctor hours actually. Pop. Oh, oil. Yeah, that now that I'm thinking about it, the last time that I recall a friend working on an oil field, they had to work really long hours. I'm so sorry. Oh. And the work must have been awful. I'm so sorry. I want to give you the biggest hug and the warmest cup of cocoa. If you like cocoa. Because not everybody likes cocoa. Which is, factually wrong. But it's okay. We forgive them. Let me make this scroll while I'm here. Did I ask to get big? I don't want to get big. Some. Okay. Okay. Scroll. And, okay. And, what? Don't do that. Nope, this way. There we go. I'm a little confused, though, because one of the gifts is moving and the other one isn't. I don't know. I'm not going to question it until later. Anyway, yeah, that sucks, and I'm angry at your work for you. Shall I send a dimensional anomaly to your work? I promise it will only inconvenience half of the facility. Well, actually, I can't promise that. Dimensional anomalies are... I'll appreciate it. All right. I'll send it. I'll send it in a nice grim colored package. It'll be green like my hair. Yeah, send in the heckin' blind mimic dog, not the blind mimic dog. Are we ready to read our next SCP? Sorry, Nancy, but your vibes were off during the meeting. It's time for the Demogorgon. Demo Dog. I love how collectively the Dead by Daylight community decided that the Demogorgon was a dog. And then when we actually did get a dog, everybody didn't like it. Nobody liked the dog. Yeah, it is pretty much a dog. Oh. Okay. What? It's like Elden Ring, how anyone called any animal a dog, but the moment a real dog came up, it went horse. Yeah. Also, what happened there? Hold on. Let me just... Behold, dog. Okay. We'll leave that alone, and then let's get started. We love lizard. SCP 683. 683. Sorry, 683. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-683 is to be kept in a standard 8 by 8 by 5 meter research bay equipped with a portable gas-powered generator. SCP-683 itself is to be covered with a suitably large, opaque drop cloth to prevent inadvertent visual contact when not involved in active research. Research Bay door should meet level 2 hazard control rating. Steel door, reinforced hinges. Reinforced hinges. SCP passport card access with manual override, but without the standard observation window. Video surveillance is restricted to this exterior door until testing is approved for recorded viewing of SCP-683. No guard should be posted unless approved by Level 3 or higher administration staff, again to prevent possible inadvertent visual contact. No food or drink is permitted within 20 meters of the containment area. SCP-683 is currently held in Research Bay Zingber 4 at Site 19 under these conditions. Description: SCP-683 consists of two objects, SCP-683-1 and SCP-683-2. When its unique properties are activated, it will produce samples of SCP-683-3. SCP-683-1 is a 1953 Crossleaf Shelvador brand refrigerator showing moderate external wear. Externally, SCP-683-1 appears clean and well-maintained regardless of its contents. Results of testing procedures or deliberate attempts to soil it. SCP-683's 1-1's power cord terminates in an unknown plug configuration that has proven incompatible with modern outlets. Foundational electrical engineers have constructed an adapter, inventory code 19 Alice 683-7, allowing 683-1 to run via a standard gas-powered home generator, which is used for all testing. When supplied with electrical power, SCP-683-1 functions adequately as a refrigeration unit. SCP-683-1's unusual properties will function with or without electrical power. But when power is provided, instances of SCP-683-3 produced do not appear to decay or spoil as long as they are kept within the unit. SCP-683-2 is a child's aged approximately 5 to 7 years drawing on a standard 8.5 by 11 white paper oriented as a landscape affixed by an unknown means to SCP-683-1's exterior. SCP-683-2 appears to have been created with pencil and felt pen, showing evidence of modern water damage at some point in its past. The drawing depicts a mountainous exterior landscape with an anthropomorphic sun, houses, a well, a dog, various vegetation, and a central figure who appears to be wearing a chief's toque. Any person uttering disparaging remarks about SCP-683-2 or attempting to remove it from the surface of SCP-683-1 begins to incur damage to both internal organs and skin and musculature upon ingesting any food item. The damage manifests as the excision of tissue from various locations on the body equal to the mass to the food ingested. This effect ceases once the victim has ingested 0.42 kilograms worth of food, an equal amount of tissue has been excised. Though observably painful, tissue exciles is seemingly instantaneous following each bite of food, and is yet to strike any internal structure that would cause the death of the subject before the 4.2 bleh. Thank you, dyslexia. the 0.42 kilograms threshold is reached. All subjects have inspired within the 26 days of the last excision. Once the 0.42 kilograms excision of tissue is complete, a brown lunch style paper bag, hereafter SCP 683-3, will appear in the interior of SCP 63-1. SCP 63-3 has consistently been labeled with the name Eric. Text will appears symmetrical in capital letters printed in black ink. Writing style appears consistent with each sample of SCP 683-3. With each appearance of SCP 683-3 has contained the following. Oh boy. A sandwich containing of 2 pieces of white bread, crust removed, and 0.2 kilograms of various excised flesh and viscera. DNA analysis confirms it to be the subjects that last disparaged or attempted to remove SCP 683-2. A plastic zip-top bag containing 0.21 kilograms of various excised flesh and viscera. DNA analysis has again confirmed it to be the subjects of who last disparaged or attempted to remove SCP 683-2. A plastic zip-top bag containing 3 chocolate chip cookies measuring 9 centimeters in diameter. Testing shows no abnormalities or traces of DNA. A 3-inch by 5-inch note reading, "Be a good boy today." Ink is black and the handwriting is consistent in the style which the Eric is written on the SCP 683-3 exterior. Following testing, all instances of SCP 683-3 have been incinerated with no unusual effects. SCP 683-2 cannot be removed from SCP 683-1, and all attempts to do so have resulted in the activation of SCP 683's unusual properties. Without any attempt to remove it, SCP 683-2 has been set alight and incinerated with a simple match on 3 occasions, but has returned to the surface of SCP 683-1 within 68 hours each time. Despite expectation, the class personnel who performed the incinerations were unaffected by SCP 683. If multiple subjects disparage or attempt to remove SCP 683-2 at one time, only the first subject to do so experiences its effects. No further subjects can be affected until the production of an instance of SCP 683-3. Subjects who fast following the removal attempts or disparaging of SCP 683-2 are unaffected until they attempt to ingest food. To date, 2 subjects have starved themselves to death without suffering any effect from SCP 683. Subjects who fed intravenously following the removal attempts or disparaging 683-2 have been affected as if they were consuming solid foods. You cannot escape this, apparently. Discovery. SCP-683 was discovered in a storage unit adjacent to the home of one Yolanda of Washington. A collector of vintage refrigerators and furnishings, Miss claims to have simply found SCP-683 unattended on a corner late July 19. Her nephew, who reportedly helped her move the item, died 2 weeks following the move. COD on the cert list complications from a hernia. The item was bought into Foundation attendance when an appraiser occasionally under contract with the Foundation through a front agency, Sentiments of Centuries Past Limited, became a victim of SCP-683's effects when evaluating Miss Find. When asked why she never attempted to remove SCP-683-2, Miss replied, "It's a nice little picture, isn't it? Why take it down?" Aww. I mean, in a way, it's kind of cute, right? I don't hate that. I think that's cute. You should like the cute little childhood drawing that's on there. I think that's cute. No one should hate it. It's adorable. Also, hi YouTube. I hope you guys are doing well too. I'm gonna briefly check in on you guys. It has been a hot minute. I hope you're doing okay. I think my YouTube chat broke. I think my YouTube chat is broken. Oh no. Here, I'll like briefly go pop in there and see what's going on. There we go. Okay, now I can see you all. Okay. Crowford went to town. Better respect. Crowford went to town on the setup today. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, did I tell you? This has been added to the list. Did I tell you all that he built a fort in the upper areas of the library, right? There is a kind of like the cloud portion of the library. You humans can't get up there because you need to be able to not breathe to be up there. But he built a fort out of brick, and he put... There's a sign that's up there that says no grims allowed, and he's put like various religious iconography and garlic wreaths around it. And honestly, I'm a little confused, but he's also set several UV lamps around as well, so I guess I'm not allowed in that area. So let me know what goes on in there. Let me know if I need to intervene in that particular area. And yeah. Crowford is a very UV lamp, you're like a dying light infected. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am, despite everything, I am still a vampire, still affected by UV light. Despite, it still being in the library. Hold on, I'll check Minecraft damage. No. No humans are... I don't think you can be up there without some type of oxygen suit. Or, like, some type of space suit, right? Humans can't breathe in the sky like that, the atmosphere. I think you'd get dizzy and pass out before you got, like, on, like, the 5th step. Nah, we tank that. Are you gonna parry the atmosphere? You're gonna parry the altitude? Just, as you walk up, you just see the blue lights. Ding, 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 Now I win. The ghouls might be able to last a little longer. Yes, that's true. That's true. The ghouls may be able to last a little longer. My blood fidelity should be able to keep you alive, um, for a bit, but it's not a foolproof thing. Speaking of blood fidelity, right? I have learned that I officially qualify. I officially qualify as an elder now. I am an elder vampire. I officially qualify. Yay! So, my blood fidelity has gone up. So you ghouls may be able to survive, you know, extraneous pressures and stuff. It's nice. Soon I'll be joining you. Yay! Actually, I can solo Millennia in Elden Ring, and I've played Ultra Kill, so I can parry each time I breathe. How do you parry each time you do? Just and you just the blue light just appears. Just uh it's fine. I'll just parry death. Mm. But that was such a nice story. Grim just got a Toho graze every time the UV lights shine on them. I've seen someone parry a nuke on YouTube. What? A nuke? How do you parry a weapon of mass destruction? Can you show it to me so that I can put it up on the screen? I'll find it. Okay, good. I'd like to create like a bullet hell of like myself in the library. I think that would be very funny. I think that would be very, very funny to do. Maybe it'll be like a second anniversary type thing. Parried the flu so hard it got sent back to someone else. Like return to sender, you just ching, and it just got sent to like that old lady that has been coughing in the corner. There you go. Okay, give me a second. What? What in the Lord's name is this? What in the hell? What? Oh, he really did that. He really he actually. What game was that? That was sick. That was so cool. That was genuinely so cool. What? I That was so cool. What do you mean? Wow. I love that. Told ya. Yeah. Well, I guess you can parry a nuke. He lived afterwards, right? He didn't suffer any, like, radiation burn or anything? What is this? There's a demo. Let me see. Oh. This is certainly not my type of game, but it looks really cool. It looks like something I would watch with like popcorn and stuff. This is the game if you all wanted to purchase it and you could parry nukes in your free time. I am not signed in for a reason. Parry the self-doubt. Parry all of the misfortune, I guess. Parry it all. You leave a bad review and the store parries. Imagine leaving one bad Steam review and it goes to, instead of going to your, instead of it going to your, the Steam page, it goes to your job instead. Your job gets a bad review. And it's from the Steam page. Your employee, this one is shit. Got another SCP for you if you want to read another. Give me a couple of moments so I can reset my voice. But of course, I would love to read more if you guys have more. If you all have, is this one a building? I want more of a building. Is that okay? Is it a building? Valve, add that. Valve, add parrying comments. It's not, but it's thematically similar to the last one. Can it be a building? Also, I have this, like, wonton soup that's next to me. Please find a building. I have this, like, wonton soup next to me, and I keep forgetting to occasionally drink it. Why is this not spinning? Oh. It just needed a little help. So while Doodles is on his merry adventure to find a thing, once again, yeah, I will probably be more in my Discord. As I said last stream, probably be playing more lads, of course. Because I have been addicted to the how long do you want it? I know another building one, but that one's a bit of a classic. It can be longer, it's fine. We can go a little bit over today. How long do I want it? I'll go this way. Excuse me. I'm just gonna leave. Just gonna, yeah. Don't worry about it. just gonna go. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm I'm sorry. I'm a child, I'm sorry. I'm a child. Yes, a building one will do just fine. It felt so nice to have like a good belly laugh like that. These past couple of hours, days have been horrifying, and it felt nice to just laugh. As we only got a couple, a super short one and a long one. Let's do the super short one. It's lovely to hear. Thank you. I'm happy to exude happiness for you guys. One day when, when I have all of the thingies and I'm able to meet you all at a con, and you guys can see me on a screen in front of you, not like unlike now, but I'll be there in person that time. Excuse me. And I can give you guys all of the air hugs that you want. Like now, I'm giving you a hug. Look here, I can do it with the mic. There you go. Did you like that hug? I'm known to give pretty good hugs, Gonna hit us with the hover hand? No. I would never hit you guys with the Christian side hug. It's full frontal, baby. Full frontal or nothing. So that's why I'm making sure to possibly get a sponsor. To make sure everybody smells nice and good and clean. I know my ghouls very well. We love full frontals. I know I said it, but stop. Let me make a note here. Add an Ayo emote. Got it. Add emote to batch list. So about those sponsors, maybe candles, bath bombs, lotions. We'll see. Your grandma's gonna work really, really hard to get some really good ones. So, you guys can smell all nice and shiny. And as precious as I know you are. Do we have gamer musk smell? No. You are going to smell like refined library goers. No more gamer musk. No, no, no. You're going to smell like dusty books and dusty books, cotton balls, and patchouli. Patchouli and vanilla. Man, long ad break. Yeah, the ads are 2 minutes here, so that's why I'm still kind of talking aimlessly. Please forgive me. Let's do the longer one. Ooh. Alrighty. Oh, thank you for that daily check-in. And don't worry, eventually RoboCrow has been kicking my butt. One time it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna work. The next time it was like, no, I don't want to work anymore. It is very, I would say Robo Crow is less indignant than Crowford, but more indignant than like everybody else. It's really frustrating sometimes. Robo Crow is new and trying its best. I think I forgot to check in last stream. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Don't worry, it's a brand new year. You can have plenty of times to check in, as I don't intend to not stream. I want to make sure that I'm consistent for you guys, and if I'm consistent, that means that you always get your stream thing. Alright, it looks like we are almost free from that terrible ad. We will read our last tale for the night, involving a building, I hope. A building of magnanimous proportions. Yeah, I saw him on the library computer. He's been silently staring at the cat for 2 hours. The next stream will be 20 for me. Wow! Wow. 20 streak. Let's go. Yeah, RoboCrow's really going through it right now. But let us get back to reading. Our SCP, our final SCP of the evening, is SCP-1670. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Excuse me. SCP-1670 is maintained by Foundation agents as a licensed franchise of LLC. Research staff are to maintain cover in service positions during operating hours, while security personnel assigned to Task Force Gamma 5, Waffle Irons, are to maintain cover as regular customers or wait in the ready room established within the food storage area. Foundation personnel are allowed to provide unsatisfactory service for the purposes of discouraging local business. All issues relevant to the normal day-to-day operations of the site are to be forwarded to Corporate Liaison Robert Gooden. Failure to adhere to this policy will result in disciplinary action. During SCP-1670's events, research staff are to distribute amnestics and sedatives in the guise of complimentary beverages or food items, while security personnel attempts to isolate individuals involved in the event for observation. If affected individuals are determined to be anomalous, they may be released into the public after a quarantine period of no less than 2 weeks. Anomalous individuals, or individuals who cannot otherwise be released, must be disposed of on-site along with their possessions. Foundation personnel are not exempt from these procedures. Description: SCP-1670 is a temporal and spatial anomaly affecting the restaurant located in. It came into Foundation custody after spontaneously reopening 3 separate attempts to abandon and close the location. The property was seized by using local eminent domain law and was eventually reopened in the guise of a normal franchise after all previous containment and demolition attempts failed. Unless the surrounding area of SCP-1670 is maintained as a restaurant under the guise of brand, it will spontaneously revert to as such, even when under direct observation. Matter displaced by this process has not been recovered. Spontaneous revisions to the state of an open restaurant also include customers and waitstaff appearing in the act of servicing and eating food. The majority of individuals present after such a reversion have been ordinary members of the local populace who claim to have arrived there normally or have been continuously employed there despite the previous state of the location. The reversions to the state of an open restaurant appear to have been contained by simply keeping the restaurant open with Foundation personnel as the staff. While there are still spatial anomalies present at the location, the local populace no longer appear at the location by extraordinary means, and the pattern of poor service keeps most locals away. The majority of customers now are travelers passing by on the nearby highway. SCP-1670 events are signaled by electrical anomalies and a strong feeling of paranoia and apprehension among those present, along with minor relocation of objects within the location. Anomalous individuals may appear during these events. These individuals may be duplicates of others who have already extant elsewhere, often within the restaurant itself. These individuals can be isolated by careful observation, though a medical examination may be necessary to determine their origin. Anomalous individuals may not be allowed to leave the location of SCP-1670, as their existence poses a threat to public safety. Security personnel must locate any duplicate or otherwise anomalous individuals and detain them for observation unit until it can be positively established whether they are native to our reality and can be safely released from custody. While there are visible differences between anomalous and ordinary individuals, post-mortem investigation typically finds severe internal abnormalities and toxic substances, including but not limited to extra or missing internal organs, extrasensory organs located within the body, orifices filled with toxic or reactive gases, broken glass filling the stomach or lungs, human remains in the stomach, unknown symbiotic life forms. Notably, anomalous individuals have not yet carried unknown or virulent pathogens, but personnel are advised to continue observing decontamination procedures. The possessions of anomalous individuals should not be retained for further studies as per Extra-Dimensional Protocol 53 regarding the conservation of mass and energy. All extra-dimensional matter must be disposed of on site. Oof. So, are we gonna go to the, anomalous McDonald's? Like, how bad is the food that the locals don't want to eat there? Anomalous Waffle House. I'd love me like a slam burger from the slam from Waffle House right now, except it's anomalous. I feel like I reckon 1239 before we go would be fun too. SCP Foundation has to RP employees and give terrible service on purpose is incredible. Yeah, like that is next level. Just like I wonder if it's similar to that one bar where like the girls are like extra mean to you or whatever. Like they have to be like extra mean. But like it's not in a sexy way. It's like genuinely mean. Maybe they like throw the food at them. Goth Girl IHOP? No. It's an actual location. Like an actual location. I don't remember what it's called. Like Like the staff is mean to you on purpose. Also, not all goth girls are mean. I'm not mean. Am I? Am I mean? Am I mean? You tell me if I was mean, right? You tell me, right? You better tell me. I better not be mean. Anyway, we can read the next story. One more for the road, I promise. One more. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. It's in the mod chat. There you go. Also, oh. Well, hello? You know, my external contact within the SCP organization, he was telling me that that angle, it makes me wish to begin a tic-tac-toe match on your forehead. What? You leave my glorious forehead out of this. I know I can see the future, okay? You leave my cute forehead out of this. It is perfectly sized. Okay? You said that, but I'm already planning an O at the top left. Well, then I'll put my X in the middle. How about that? Anyway. SCP 1239. SCP-1239. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Site... I have to find my censor button. Site has been established around SCP-1239-2, but not used for testing. SCP-1239-1 and removable instances of SCP-1239-3 are to be kept outside of SCP-1239-2 in dedicated storage lockers to prevent accidental activation. SCP-1239-2 should be soundproofed with all windows obscured from the outside. Description: SCP-1239 consists of 3 components. SCP-1239-1, a lamp with a standard low-voltage power cable containing artificial flora, 4 flowers like light bulb. The words "Hey Kids" are engraved on the lid. SCP-1239-2, a resident in SCP-1239-3, a particular set of objects present within SCP-1239-2 at time of recovery. The anomalous effects of 1239 manifest if 1239-1 is powered and viewed by a post-pubescent human subject, while both are within 1239-2. Following this, the subject will experience a series of conditional hallucinations. My dyslexia is taking over my brain. Hallucinations. Jesus Christ. Until exiting SCP-1239-2 as follows. Subjects will perceive samples of 1239-3 to be different objects. This is apparently consistent between subjects, as all subjects tested have perceived respective SCP-1239 samples in the same way. Objects presented within 1239-2, other than 1239-3, will be perceived normally by affected subjects. Subjects will perceive any prepubescent or pubescent individual present within SCP-1239-2 is highly amicable. Despite the subject's prior dispositions, relationships with children, it will experience a desire to engage in play activities. Subjects will perceive all expressions of discomfort, pain, or displeasure produced by prepubescent and pubescent individuals within 1239-2 as expressions of pleasure or enjoyment. Upon exiting 1239, the hallucinatory symptoms caused by exposure to 1239-1 will cease and are removed retroactively. A.e., the subject will remember observing 1239-3 samples as they would normally appear, but will be unable to recall experiencing the hallucination. Words hard. Hallucinations previously caused by 1239. Behavior caused by SCP-1239 will be recalled with an expected degree of detail. As a result of this, subjects are able to recall actions made under the influence of 1239, but are unable to recall the motivations for said actions. Summarize recovery log. SCP-1239 was first identified shortly after an incident occurring in 1239-2 on 07, in which the respective parents of 10 children who had agreed to meet as a part of a social event were exposed to SCP-1239-1. The affected individuals, which were 6, which were interviewed per the Recovery Protocol 8. A cover story regarding toxic gas leak was later circulated, and the remains of the children incinerated after analysis. Oh. Testing regarding SCP-23, it's not 23, 1239 has determined that no direct or compulsive behavior alterations from exposure to 1239-1. Oh wow. Description: SCP-1239-12. A kettle composed of plastic and stainless steel. Hallucinated appearance. A polystyrene sword. SCP-1239-13. A large oven. A cardboard box with the words Fort written on it, in a felt tip pen, and an apparatus with the words Fun Controls written above it, which corresponds to the dials. The text representing the maximum temperature, 200°C, and the temperature dial can be set, has been replaced with the words Maximum Fun. Oh dear. And the words Fun button had been printed above the button activating the device. SCP-1239-14. A Glock 19 pistol. A toy handgun which produces a low-energy red laser upon the trigger being pulled. The object possesses a mechanism to load the cartridges normally. SCP-1239-15. 14 batteries of multiple sizes. Multiple biscuits, sugary sweets, and other confectionaries, primarily colored purple, blue, and pink. SCP-1239-16. 5 pots and pans of various sizes, chiefly composed of stainless steel. 5 water balloons of various sizes and colors, each filled with near maximum amount of water that they can support. Oh dear. For an extensive list of SCP-2339 samples and their respective hallucinated appearances, please refer to document 1239-B. Okay, and that was what we just read. Oh, so you mean to tell me that it made them hallucinate that they were like, I was thinking, oh, this is kind of cute, they get to hallucinate, have the time of their life or whatever. No, this thing has kids eating batteries and stuff. Oh, little Timmy's got is that a Glock? Why does the child have a Glock? The child has a Glock? Wholesome? Where would that be wholesome? The oven one makes me laugh. Oh my good, maximum fun. I feel like even as like a kid, I would be really suspicious of that. I'm like, why does it work? What's going on, man? Also, like, what about the adults? Don't the adults go in as well? Like, if the adults are also in there and they don't affect the adults, like, what? The adults are affected. I thought it only affected the kids. Post-pubescent subject. Post-pubescent. So only the kids can see it for what it is. Oh, that's crazy. Only the kids can actually see it for what it is. No. 10 came in and only 6 came out. Imagine your dad, like, imagine your dad just leveling that toy gun that he has like a super, he's like pretending he has like a super soaker, and he just goes to town on your friends, and you're just standing there in horror. I don't know, man. As like a little kid, man. That's crazy. Because it's their parents that's with them. That's who's there. Like parents, aunties, uncles. The person that would take you to Chuck E. Cheese. Your big sister. Whew. But it's time for so long. Perhaps until another day. Wednesday, we'll be doing some artwork. That's right, I've decided whatever Wednesday, we'll be doing some artwork. Hopefully I can draw something safe for work so we can draw that. We can color that in on stream. But no promises. It was lovely to see you all. Thank you, as always, for coming to stream today. It is always a delight, a pleasure, And the biggest joy, Twitch does not allow unsafe for work drawing after the incident. As long as you are tasteful, it's fine. I am not tasteful, so we will probably be drawing other things. Don't worry, we have an entire mouse pad to draw, so do not fret. Farewell, good evening, and let's raid into tasteful like the candy in 1239. It's true. You know, tasteful like AA batteries. Good night, everybody. Let's find someone to share the love with. Let's find someone to share the love. Looks like mostly harmless obelisk is finding oblivion at the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. And it looks like he's AFK, but I think it's fine. We can go ahead and start reading it. Either way, good night, everyone. Treat each other well. If you don't treat each other well, I will find out. And I may eviscerate your organs. Night night.